I work with enough climate scientists to understand that it's not rocket science, but it's necessary to understand science. We have 10 years to really turn this around. So this decade is the most critical decade we face as a species.
Okay.
We have to slash global emissions in half to reach 1.5 degrees. And if we cross that to 2 degrees Celsius, we run the risk of feedback loops where it's irreversible climate change. And so it's not enough to just convert to a green renewable energy society. We actually have to draw down atmospheric carbon. So it's a two-part process. And that's why trees are so important. That's why through photosynthesis, that's why carbon sinks are so important. So we have a decade to really get this right. But why 2020 is so important is because once our economy goes back live, we are either locking ourselves into the fossil fuel economy, and or we can create a new economy based on renewable energy and a more equitable economy for all. So this year is really important. So yeah, so we have a decade. No pressure for all the climate crew.
Yeah, I'm like, is everyone paying attention? We've got a decade.
Yeah, I'm optimistic. How do you feel about, I mean, you say you're uneducated, but you seem to me to really care about this.
I mean, I think if you don't care, there's something wrong with you. If you don't care about the actual planet that we're all living on, I mean, it's interesting because, and I'm kind of thinking about, okay, I'm thinking about the people in across the country right now who are refusing to wear a mask because they don't want to be told what to do with their bodies. These are the same
Yeah,
people who like to tell women what they can and cannot do with their own bodies. These are the same people who, you know, riot. They can't get hair. It's a very selfish society right now that we're
mhm,
living in. I mean, it's always been a very selfish society, and I think
yeah,
people are less. It doesn't surprise me that people don't know or aren't educated or don't care about climate change because it's not directly affecting them.
exactly.
They don't, it's easy to not care if your house isn't burning down. It's easy to not care if you're not seeing the results right away, the consequences
Hmm.
right away. There people don't care. It's not on their radar because we're selfish
Yeah.
people. So I think it's a matter of just educating and getting the
Hmm.
information out there to be like, okay, everything you're worried about right now in your life, in your own world, about a relationship, about buying a house, about,
Hmm.
being able to afford something. It doesn't matter if our planet is dead. It won't
Exactly.
matter. It does not matter.
Exactly.
Everything that we're fighting for right now, so far as the Black Lives Matter, so far as COVID, it doesn't it's not going to matter if our planet dies.
Exactly.
We need to
There's
focus
an,
on the longevity of our world,
yeah, exactly.
and I think it comes with just I think a lot of people haven't taken the time to learn, and including
Hmm.
me. I haven't, every time I've ever read an article about like, the massive earthquake that's coming in like 30 years that's going to put California underwater or something crazy like that. It's terrifying. So I don't look at it. I'm like, nope, can't talk about
Yeah.
it. And I was
Yeah.
talking about this last night with my friend. I was saying how I was doing this live with you and how we were both saying how absolutely terrifying it is that our planet is dying
Hmm.
and we don't have that much time. 10 years, not a lot of time at all. It's a blink of
No.
an eye in retrospect, and I
Yeah.
think the it's necessary to almost scare people into changing their habits.
Yeah.
And
Fear and anger are actually very powerful human motivators.
yeah,
It's been proven. And um, one thing is that the fossil fuel industry knew in the 70s that we were locking ourselves into a path to extinction. They knew that fossil fuels would contribute to the destruction of our planet. And so there's actually a lot of groups out there that are litigating against fossil fuel companies because they knew in the 70s. And I think a lot of people feel overwhelmed, like they don't know where to turn to, where to start. And so I hope I can provide a little bit of hope. I look at climate solutions in like two buckets: systemic solutions, so like global societal solutions, and then individual solutions. So individuals really do have the power to make change and demand change. I mean, Greta has mobilized millions of youth throughout the world. And I was actually just reading a study that I'm a millennial, but I feel so much hope from Gen Z. I feel like even millennials are a little apathetic about climate sometimes. I feel like we're starting to wake up, but I think Gen Z is like, this is black and white. This is life or death. Like we need